Matching hundreds. It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Detroit Lions as they get set to square off against the Buffalo Bills. With that, let's get up to a winter wonderland at New Era Field in Orchard Park. On the call, we bring in our bundled-up duo of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, winter is just around the corner as you get a look at New Era Field just south of Buffalo, New York. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills. Hello, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at the Bills entering play here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they've been flawless these last couple months, winners of 9 in a row.
And that's the kind of streak you don't see too often in today's NFL since there's so much parity.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season, still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll have the speedy Tyrod Taylor calling the shots, the former Virginia Tech Hokie.
Partner, you know how guys always tell us it's not about the numbers, it's about the win. It's about the numbers, too. Almost 400 yards passing by him last week. What can he do in this one?
Well, earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Maybe he'll try to get 400-plus here and duplicate that honor again. Now it's the Florida Atlantic alum. This is Alfred Morris. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats, but really should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Now it's Morris. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Taylor now off the bootleg. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick six.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Taylor will bring the Bills up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They begin the drive with Morris. And he powers his way up past the 30. Lorenzo Alexander brings him down. On the defensive side of the ball, here are the starters for Detroit. They are number 2 in the NFL against the run right now, Charles.
They've established themselves pretty well throughout this season. But boy, what a competitive group of people. They do not like that ranking they have now because they think that they're better, and they're out to prove it again in this game.
Off the play fake, here's Taylor. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. The numbers for Fitzgerald from last week. 5 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown.
And he now has 8 touchdowns on the season, and I just know this. He's going to be so eager to run routes in this one and try and get to the end zone at least 2 more times. 10 is a key number. Really signifies that you've had a big year.
Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 32 that time.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
The throw by Taylor here, and that's incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's third down. On third down, Taylor. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And Parkey's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, then no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the very, very talented Andrew Luck.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that'll help set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And now the offense for Detroit.
This offense begins and ends with Ezekiel Elliott. He played in only 10 games last year after leading the league in rushing as a rookie, but still led the league in rushing yards per game for the 2nd year in a row. When he gets his hands on the football, everyone comes to the edge of their seat.
Here's Luck now on 2nd down. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. The numbers there for Howard a week ago. 6 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown.
And that put him over 1,000 yards for the season. And the benchmark for running backs, 1,000 yards. The same for receivers when you have that kind of beat.
Now the ball comes loose, and the Bills have recovered.
We've got plenty of weather here today. We've got some snow going on, and they've come out of a dome. And there have been 2 ways of getting ready for this. Some have said, don't worry about the weather. Just practice in your normal conditions and handle it on game day. And others have said, find some weather, find some conditions somewhere, and try and get ready. What do you think?
Well, whatever the preparation there, the snow causing the fumble.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Taylor. Over the middle, complete. It's Fitzgerald. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 63 yards receiving for him now. And that last catch, good enough for a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now, Taylor on 1st down. Dancing to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
They go play action with Taylor. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the 1st quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to 1.
Forced out to his left. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the 1st down on a 13-yard run.
How about that scramble by Andrew Luck? Sometimes we forget just how big, strong, and yes, fast Andrew Luck is. When he came out of college at the Combine, shocked everyone, ran a sub-4 840.
And he grew up a big soccer guy over in Europe, so he knows how to use his feet.
That he does, and I think it has helped his legs along the way as well.
This is how they'll line up on the defensive side for Buffalo. They come into this one in the bottom half of the NFL against the run, number 19 overall.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
We are watching a runner having a really nice game. Carrying it very well. Vision is excellent, but boy, look at the help he's getting. Offensive line, I think they're pretty eager to block for him.
Now it's Luck. He completes it to Bryant. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. First catch for Bryant. He's got a 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Ezekiel Elliott, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions add on to their lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Taylor will bring the Bills up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Play action. Now Taylor. Escaping the pressure right. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 14-3, that's our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Play action, it's Taylor. He'll buy some time right, and he slides to avoid the hit. Taylor able to use those legs of his to pick up a 1st.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Taylor. And able to find John Brown. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the 1st. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. They go play action here on 1st down. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Now Love. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw on 2nd down is Love. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Throwing on 3rd down. Love. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They run with Morris, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs, and let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
The Bills on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Taylor to throw. And he's got his man. It's the tight end play. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the 1st.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive there. He hits the reliable target. This is Morris. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, a 22.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A first down carry by Elliott. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. On first down, Luck. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down. Luck. Throw left side complete. It's Elliott. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
The Bills offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Buffalo after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now Taylor. He dumps off to Morris. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight end.
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Lorenzo Alexander able to drop him for a loss of 4. On 3rd down, Taylor. And that is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and this shows on the scoreboard.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Now a first down throw, Luck, and he fires one incomplete. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and it's 2nd down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Tressway now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. On second down, here's Taylor. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number one. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Luck on first down. A dump off to Elliott. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On second down, here's Locke. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And Lutz puts this one through. And that'll push the lead up to 17. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Final play of the half, it's Taylor. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete on the deep ball. So we have reached halftime with a... There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Not too many breaks ahead according to the radar. More snow on the horizon as we are back underway in half number 2. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
To throw is Locke. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A gain of 13 and also the first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Adams. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the play.
As far as I'm concerned, Andrew Luck can do it all. I mean, he's an underrated runner, toughness in the pocket, strong and stout, but let's face it, the money, that comes from his arm.
And smart, valedictorian of his high school class in Houston, then he goes to Stanford. He's got it all. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. The former All-Pro Marcel Darius brings him down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved.
Offense.
This O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
Now it's Luck. Hard throw, incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And Lutz's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said does. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Ready. Flag 32.
2nd and 10 now. It's Taylor. And that's incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Ready. 3-19. 3-19.
On 3rd down, Taylor. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
We're into the 2nd half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Lions will take over. Marching back onto the field now, Devontae Adams and company getting set to go. You look at the numbers for him, and 1,000 yards obviously well within his sights, barring injury. He will get there. The question, will he get there in this game?
Well, he would love to. Duh, right? Of course he would. But, you know, watching him play this year, we often talk about defenses, you know, allocating extra resources to try and stop a guy of his ilk, right? But you know what else kicks in? His pride.
Now a hit and lock. Lost the football. It's out. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense.
Holding offense.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the 1st down marker. Out of the gun, Luck. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Here's Morris. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
And while there is no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
They give them a gain of 38.
What really hurts defenses on screen passes is that they eat up one of their levels right away. Because, you know, most defenses, there's 3 levels: D-line, linebacker, secondary. But on a screen pass, you're inviting the defensive line to get past them, and then you throw the ball over their heads, and now there's just 2 levels left to try and stop big guys out in front of a guy running with the football.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now they try the right side here. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Play action, it's Taylor. Completes it right side to Doxson. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the 1st down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the 1st. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
And Detroit getting set to go now. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And he finds Howard complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Here's Luck now on second down. Wide open is Watkins. He's got it. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Luck now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Luck. Throw left side complete. It's Howard. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Throwing again is Luck. Over the middle, he's got Watkins. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you're throwing so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. A shotgun snap for Luck. And it's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. From the gun, here's Love. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. O.J. Howard, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive goes 8 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Now it's Taylor. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Morris fighting. He lost the football, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And Detroit getting set to go now. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food, because that is something that you and I
we
enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Now Elliott. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Lutz good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out come the Bills. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. So word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it. I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now Taylor on first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And that one results in 35 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Now Taylor. He dumps off to Morris. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackle.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
So 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at fourth down.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
And Parkey's kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. In the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. Because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll run with Elliott. They'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking. On
second down, Elliott. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with Adam Gase, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, in the offseason. He told me that he asked his running backs each week for their favorite runs. Give me your 3 top runs. And right now, you're seeing a guy that's probably using his top runs to great advantage in this game.
He is in a zone. Here's Luck. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
Throwing is Luck. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete.
And how about this, a fake? And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. Taylor will bring the Bills up 1st and 10 at their own 44. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity. We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Man open right side. It's the tight end, Clay. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Over the middle here to Brown. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. The result, a first down, as a quick slant gets him 14. They'll throw on first down with Taylor. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Now Taylor to throw. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And Parkey's kick is good. And now they'll just need 4 touchdowns as the deficit is now 28. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points. It will give the defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On 3rd down, Elliott. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Well, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for the Lions, they continue to roll as the win gets them to 12-2 on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Bills, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.